Reading has always been an activity I have enjoyed. I would stay up into the early hours of the morning, devouring a book I just could not put down. Quietly reading in my room, I hoped my parents would not come check on me and tell me to go to bed. If I heard a noise, I would feign sleep. Then, keep reading when the coast was clear. However, little did I know that my parents could hear me reading. When I was in elementary school, I loved to read out loud. I liked acting out the voices and hearing the words flow from one page to the next. I discovered my parents could hear me because I overheard my dad telling a friend about my reading ability. "Maddie's a really good reader," beamed my dad. "We can hear her in our room at night just reading out loud. Hell, she emotes when she reads. I was even getting into the story." Laughter echoed through the room, and embarrassment warmed my cheeks. I knew my dad was proud of my reading ability, but I was mortified to learn my parents could hear me reading the entire time. My Grandma Lily helped to promote my love for reading, and never made me feel ashamed about it. She introduced me to works like Jane Eyre, Anne of Green Gables, and Little Women. I would go over to her house and we would spend time cooking, playing Yahtzee, reading, or watching old movies. Little Women was our favorite story. One time, I went over to her house and she surprised me by ordering porcelain doll versions of all the March sisters, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy. They stood in a display case at the top of the stairs, and I would sit on the floor, smudging the glass with my fingerprints. I thought they looked so pretty, but I knew they were not toys, so I observed them from afar, appreciating their existence. A prized possession of mine is a velvet copy of The Secret Garden. My grandma gave it to me as a gift in 2000. I think if my house were to catch fire, that book would be one of the first things I would save. She inscribed a message on the inside: "A gift for Maddie Lane, from Grandma Lillian." It is written in her intricate cursive. I really appreciate that we shared a love for stories. Certain works I will always associate with my grandma and our relationship. The power of books and their ability to form relationships never fully hit me until high school. Sophomore year, I went to lunch and sat at a table with some of my friends. I noticed a new girl, Alyssa, who I had never really talked to before, and I also noticed that she was reading Twilight, a series I spent the summer obsessing over. I immediately launched into conversation with her. And usually I'm pretty shy and reserved, but the love of a book made me confident and initiated a friendship. For almost a whole year, I think all we talked about was the Twilight series. We gained so many eye rolls from our fangirl status, but we did not care because we liked the book. Looking back, it definitely has some questionable elements, but in high school, it was so entertaining. Hashtag Team Edward, by the way. Eventually, Alyssa and I realized we could talk about other things aside from Twilight. So, we started reading other young adult books together and formed a book club of 2. Alyssa is still one of my closest friends, and books always come up as a topic of conversation. "Oh my gosh, what are you reading? What do you recommend? What did you like about it?" Last year, I was the maid of honor at her wedding, and in my speech, I reflected on our book Meet Cute. Books can be so powerful in creating memories and forming relationships, and I know that I can always count on a good book to entertain me, but also open me to the possibility of new experiences and interactions.
Created using Powtoon.